When Get Rich or Die Trying came out over 20 years ago now, people lost their minds. Literally everybody and their mamas and their grandmamas know about this album. But despite what you think you know, I'm gonna still give you 10 things you didn't know about Get Rich or Die Trying. I'm Mr. Boom Bap, the Boom Bap enthusiast, and I'll be revealing facts about Heat, 21 Questions, and In the Club. And keep watching until the end because I'll throw in a bonus fact about the album as well. And some of you may be thinking, why is he doing this album? This album isn't a boom bap album. You know what? I'll give you that. But it's a dope album and he didn't flood it with hit singles like I would have expected. It's got some joints on there. But speaking of hit singles, let's get started by talking about In the Club. Now I'll be honest and say that if I never hear that song again, it'll be too soon. But that doesn't stop me from being interested in how the song was made. For instance, I was able to find out that DJ Quick and Denon Porter claim to have contributed drums to In the Club. Quick doesn't want anyone to forget that the drums you hear on In the Club come from him. And I don't blame him. If drums I made ended up on a commercial record, I want my credit too. One time when being interviewed by Village Voice, DJ Quick said, they don't even know why they like that song In the Club by 50 Cent. They just know that they've heard it more than any other song and it never gets old somehow. Well, it's because I helped Dr. Dre with the drums. I gave him those claps and that kick. He acknowledges that now. I used to say for years, you guys don't understand. I gave Dr. Dre those drum sounds. And Denon Porter says his drums are on it too, and that makes sense. He's been knowing Dre for many years now, so I don't know. Maybe Dr. Dre used drums from them both and stacked them or spread them out across different parts of the track, but here's what Mr. Porter had to say about it in the OK Player piece, The Secret History of 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying. I think the drum sounds were mine. I was working on When the Music Stops in the other room for M's album. We were just passing around zip disk. I know that clap and kick. I was trying to replicate Rockwilder's Somehow Some Way for Organized Confusion. And I think that was on one of the zip disks. Dre would come in, and when he put his hands on it, it's like magic. A sound that you might make, he'll turn it into magic. It was supposed to be a D12 beat. And that's the other thing, the last thing Denon said. In the Club was actually intended to be a D12 song. According to thethings.com, Dr. Dre and Mike Elizondo made the beat for a D12 song that was going to be on the 8 Mile soundtrack.
There was a D12 version, and it was, I'm not going to say it was terrible, man. Respect to them, but bizarre. It just wasn't, if you didn't think that record didn't even matter once you heard that, right?
But Dre ended up playing the beat for 50. He immediately started writing to it. He had the lyrics done in an hour, and they finished up the song in the same night. And they say that hindsight is 20/20 because even though we all know now that In the Club was a runaway hit, in the things.com article on facts about Get Rich or Die Trying, they talked about how Eminem, 50, Jimmy Iovine, Paul Rosenberg, and Chris Lighty decided to flip a coin to decide the album's lead single. We couldn't decide on the first single from Get Rich or Die Trying. Eminem wrote on his Genius page in 2015. It was going to be either If I Can't or In the Club. We were torn, so me, 50, Paul, Chris Lighty, and Jimmy Iovine decided to flip a coin. I honestly can't picture If I Can't as the first single. I like it better than In the Club, but it sounds like more of a second or third single to me. And before we talk about the song Heat, let me tell you one more thing about In the Club. I bet you didn't know that Lloyd Banks came up with the In the Club hook. That's right. Sha Money XL talks about it in that OK Player article I mentioned earlier. He says, truth be told, Lloyd Banks wrote that hook. That whole part was a verse in one of Banks' songs. Find me in the club, bottle full of bub. 50 heard it and knew how to make it a hook and make it hot.
Banks had this record where we already recorded it, and it was probably going to go on a mixtape. And on the song, he had this line, was in the club, bottle full of bub, and he had that whole line. Fifth always remembered that shit for some whatever reason, and he was like, nope, this is a hook. And he took that line from the song and made it that hook. You know, Banks never got the publishing credit or the check, because that's a big one.
Another song that 50 made hot was a song called Heat, because what a lot of people don't know is Heat was originally Rakim's song. From the secret history of Get Rich or Die Trying, Denon Porter says, Heat, the joint with the guns in it, was a Rakim song. There's a version with Rakim that was incredible. The only records ever recorded for Ra was me and Dre, so I was hurt when Dre gave him the song. I learned something that day. He said this is the creative balance. Yes, what Rakim did was incredible, but it just made sense for 50. And another fact about this song that shouldn't be surprising is the gun sound effects were made with real guns. And 10 things you didn't know about 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying by WrapUp.com. 50 Cent told MTV News, "We got the chance to do theatrics with the skits, but the actual gun clicks and stuff was real. We had them with us, so we just go in the booth and use it instead of going with the sound effect." But 50 put the guns away for 21 Questions because he knew he wanted to do a song for the ladies. So who's better to draw inspiration from than the rapper that the ladies love? So LL Cool J inspired 21 Questions. The WrapUp.com quoted 50 from a 2013 MTV News interview saying, "I really made that record because I was in the car and LL Cool J came on. The girl next to me was all into it. It was a soft record, but she was so into the record that I said, I want to make something that makes girls respond like that to me." And of course, the beat to 21 Questions was produced by Midi Mafia, but the producers of 21 Questions weren't making the beat for 50 Cent. Dirty Swift from Midi Mafia was interviewed by Hip Hop DX and is quoted as saying, "I remember making the track and thinking, man, this would be dope. I didn't know who it would be dope for, but I just knew it was gonna go. It was just one of those tracks I had a feeling about. It kind of sat around for a while, and 2 different people had it on beat CDs. This was about a year before they signed the deal with Shady, but they were really excited about it." You also probably didn't know that 50 Cent sang the hook to 21 Questions at first. Dirty Swift goes on to say, when he did the Shady deal and Dre got a hold of it, they ended up putting Nate Dogg on it. It took me a while to get used to that version because I was so used to the one with 50 singing the hook. It was actually kind of a dream come true to have Nate Dogg sing a hook on the track I made. What producer wouldn't want that? That was real big for us. To have the late great Nate Dogg singing on a song you produced is a big deal indeed. But even with that being the case, the song almost didn't come out because Dr. Dre didn't like 21 Questions.
Dr. Dre didn't want 21 Questions, which was a hit, to be on Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, he said, "I don't know why you want it. Why I wanted the record." Because I'm like, damn, man, like I gotta do all these fucking push-ups.
Right, for nothing.
Yeah. The girls are
like, yeah. Yeah, I got the dudes. Like, come on.
Yeah, but he was like he knew, Dre would say, "I know what this is. NWA is just one member." So it's just, we didn't do that. Like, they didn't have to reach to make a commercial record or anything that sounded like a commercial record and that's just in his DNA. Like, on his path, he's like, yo, we don't need that.
Sha Money XL gives more details on this fact in OK Player's The Secret History of Get Rich or Die Trying article. Dre wasn't with it at first. We did a sit down that I have on videotape. We went through 30 tracks that 50 did. We was at Jimmy Iovine's house. Records was getting chopped off. 50 was fighting for stuff. Thanks to Nate Dogg's manager, Rod McGrew, a real classy OG, he helped me get the Barry White sample cleared. I was having problems getting that cleared. That record almost didn't make it. So I asked around and Rod said, "I know Barry." This is when Barry was about to pass and this was the last record that he cleared alive before it would go to his estate. That was the last record he approved. And while we're on the subject, since the sample was cleared, I'll tell you what it is. It's a Barry White song called It's Only Love Doing Its Thing. If you go and listen to that song, whether you Google it and go to whosampled.com or something like that, all Midi Mafia sample was like 1 or 2 seconds of the beginning of the song. It's a really clever sample flip. I wish I could play it for you, but I'm trying to be more careful now as far as dealing with copyright. Also, the casual rap fan probably doesn't know that 50 Cent had a whole album before Get Rich or Die Trying. It's called Power of the Dollar. He was on Columbia and they dropped him and never released the album once he got shot 9 times. But here's the bonus fact I want you to know. Your Life's on the Line is the only song from Power of the Dollar that made it to Get Rich or Die Trying. When discussing this fact on thethings.com, they said that the song Life's on the Line was released in 1999, peaked at number 37 on the Billboard Hot Rap Singles chart, and was re-released in 2003 as a bonus track on 50's album. So comment below either to tell me what you learned from this video or give another fact that people may not know about the album. We all know that 50 Cent signed to Eminem's label Shady Records and how much of a beast M is lyrically. But even Eminem will tell you that one of the MCs he loves and who inspired him is Redman. I made a 10 Things You Didn't Know video on Redman's Muddy Waters that you should see on your screen right now. So go ahead and click on that video to learn some facts about that album. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in that next video. Peace.